All right. I'm going to give people a few moments to come on. And as I am waiting for people to come on, let's just breathe a little bit. I'm just going to breathe. Tonight is a full moon. Full moon is a great time to release what no longer serves you, what you don't want anymore in your life, and just let it go. Let it go. So I'm just giving people a few minutes to come on. Thank you for coming on. As you're coming on, say hello. Let me know that you can hear me well. And today I'm going to be talking about two things, and it's just me today. So normally Fridays is Red Lipstick Talk with me and Nefertiti, but Nefertiti is traveling tonight. She's heading back to the States to see her mama. And hello, Jean. So it's just going to be me today. And I'm going to be talking for the guys because, it's been so interesting. I've had a lot of guys coming on to my lives, watching my lives. And since I've had a couple of people send me messages asking about, or during as well, not just sending me messages after, but during. I've also had them talk to me about body image. And then I've had guys send me messages about whether I should send dick pics. Hello, Shyla. Welcome, welcome. So I want to really address this. And I want people that's coming in as well to please weigh in, share your comments, and and let's just talk about this. And one of the reasons why I'm doing these lives is so that we can have these talks about sexuality because people don't have them. We're not having them on a regular basis. So it's so important for us to know and for people to work on their things. So what I want to address is for men and women, self-esteem, body image, and then the whole idea of sending dick pics. So, and I put the cover as to send a dick pic or not, because right now during this pandemic, there's been a lot of people, a lot of guys specifically, just like sending pictures, not asking, or just kind of wondering whether they should or not, and then I talked to a guy who he's actually wanted a woman or he's had a woman who asked him to send a dick pic. But he was like, well, I don't know. And so I think there's so many different layers to this. And there's a layer of self-esteem as well. And so that's why I wanted to go ahead and address these two things in this conversation. So on my Facebook post, a lot of people were like, no, don't send, or it depends on whether you're in a relationship or not, right? So there's so many different things, right? So during the apocalypse with just the COVID virus, I've had guys coming in and starting to just send out of the blue dick pic without asking first. And so it's so important, if you don't have a relationship with this person, don't just send it. You definitely need to have the conversations, talk, and see where your relationship is at. And so if she is asking for the picture and she wants it, go ahead and send it. Maybe if you're feeling unsure or uncomfortable, check the different angles. And so this is the other piece that I really wanted to go into, the whole self-esteem, right? So a lot of times we have to really think about, especially as Black people, where does our self-esteem come from? Especially as women or Black men, when we're constantly bombarded in our society of what beauty is. Now I'm 45, so me growing up, everything that I saw in the media was white blonde, a certain body type, and you had to be like a size 0, maybe a size 2. And so, we've been kind of like constantly seeing these images. And I remember when I was a child, my sister was like, no, you got to have a black doll. You got to have a black doll. And so, and that's one of the things that kind of helped me with my self-esteem. So hello to those coming on. Please share your comments. Please weigh in. Charlotte says, I'm not interested in seeing a dick pic unless it's monstrous. And so what's monstrous? Like how big does it have to be? Like how many inches? So that's funny. So and that's the thing, like um and one of the things when we're looking at whether you should send it or not is just having that conversation. And if the woman's already seen it before and she's like, yes, send, then that means you're all good. She loves your body, she loves what you see. And the same thing with women. Sometimes with women, we're wondering whether to send a pic of ourselves, a pussy pic. So listen, if you're offended by these terms, pussy, dick, then you might not want to stay tuned because, I'm going to be saying that a lot on this live, pussy and dick. But it's all part of our sexuality, and it's okay to be comfortable with these terms, and so going back to the self-esteem, like, when we were growing up, we saw certain images, and that really just kind of hurt us in terms of what we saw was beauty and how we felt. And so, why I'm bringing these two topics together, because the guy who's, one of the guys that I spoke to, I think a lot of his was about self-esteem. He had a lady who asked, and he wasn't sure whether to send it because they didn't know if she would like it, or she would think that it was monstrous enough, right? Going back on Shiloh's word. And so I think it's so important that, in all honesty, in all seriousness, that we kind of work to help support each other and love each other. And when you're in a relationship, I remember I had an ex who used to be like, oh man, if you gain weight, if you get this certain size, I'm going to end the relationship. And I'm just like, well, if you love me for me, and not what size I am. And I think it's important for us to continue to start lifting each other up, because again, remembering where all this low self-esteem comes from. We've been conditioned by society to feel bad about ourselves. And there's a reason, because when we're feeling bad about ourselves, we're not feeling beautiful. We're not feeling healthy. We're going to go out and spend more money. We're going to buy the latest iPhone, the latest 5G, all of these things that really doesn't do anything for us, right? So we're going to be spending money to go to a therapist and or a psychiatrist. By the way, if you need a therapist or psychiatrist, support Black businesses like me. But for real, the society has made us to just spend money, to keep buying comfort food, to buy alcohol, to drink, to try and feel better, cigarettes, to smoke. So it's not one, and to help us feeling beautiful and have a great self-esteem, right? And so, so self-esteem, it's when you look in the mirror and you're like, do I like myself or not? And even beyond that, what is the image that you see of yourself? What is it, the image that you see internally and externally? Then you have your whole self-concept, right? Which is how you see yourself, how you think about yourself, and how you feel about yourself. And so one of the things I've had people talk to me about is having that mama body after having kids, or dad body after having kids, not really feeling good about their bodies. And so that affects them. They begin to feel depressed, anxious, stressed, and they're not able to have loving, fulfilling relationships. And part of my job is to really help more people have fun, loving relationships and great sex, because we deserve to have great sex. Okay. And so part of that is learning where these different things come from. Why is it that I feel bad about my body? And why is it, okay, so, and this also ties back to the dick pics, right? There's some people who need an ego boost, and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna send a dick pic whether or not I ask for permission from you or not. Then there's people who love to be humiliated. So maybe they are small, and they're gonna send it to not ask you so that you can humiliate them, and then they get off on that. So there's so many different levels to this that it's really not that simple. So if you agree with what I'm saying, let me know. Vika, thank you for coming on and commenting. She says, love you, Renee. On a side note, never okay to send one unsolicited, and dad bods are awesome. We all go through changes throughout our lifetimes. Making a human takes a tremendous sacrifice. So true, so true. So yay to dad bods. Thank you. And to mom bods. Health is so much more than our physical, ever-changing shapes. And I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much, Vika, for coming on. Because that's one of the things that, I was talking to, that I talked to with my friends about, who's mentioned this to me, or even my clients, that especially when you're married and you have a baby, or even if you're not married and you're single, or if you never had a baby, our bodies are constantly changing, constantly changing. So it's not going to be like when you were 10 years old. It's not going to be like when you were 20 years old or 18 years old. And I think the most important thing, going back to the self-image and self-concept, is getting to where you can accept where you are in that moment and begin to love your body. So Phil, I know you said you're listening and eating. I want to hear from you too, because you did comment on the link when I posted. So it's so important to be able to love and connect to your body. And I think once you're in a space where you're loving and you're gentle and you're caring with your body, then you can do what you need to do. Focus on a routine of exercising and eating right. Because again, the base is loving your body and wanting to care for your body. Because if you're not happy and you're depressed and you're stressed and you're anxious and you got all of these different things, how are you going to eat right? How are you going to eat healthily? Because already you have no love, no self-respect for your own body, or no care for your body. And so all of this is connected. We have to care for ourselves and be kind, gentle, and loving with ourselves, and accept where we are and say, okay, I love myself. Start by looking in the mirror. And I tell people to do this all the time. And I remember the first time I did this, I looked in the mirror and I was like, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I just started crying. Tears was coming down because I realized how I hadn't really connected to myself. And when you get that connection to yourself and that love, you're going to want to put only healthy things in your body. Right now, during this quarantine, I've been really good with eating vegetarian every day, 3 months vegetarian. And it feels so good. Like I've been making that conscious effort to take care of my body, to love myself, to meditate, to exercise. And that's so important. One of the things that we can do, so exercising, and seeing, okay, what is realistic that I can do in terms of exercise. Can I go for walks every day? Can I go running every day? Instead of when I'm going to work, instead of trying to park in the closest parking spot to my office or wherever you work, park further away and walk longer so you're getting exercise in. Instead of taking the elevator, take the stairs. So little things to be conscious as to what you can do to kind of help with your body. And those who are coming on, if you have a routine, something that works for you, please share, please write it out. Let me know what you've done that's helped you to kind of work through your body issues or your image issues, what's helped you to keep in shape. We'd love to hear, love for you guys to kind of share, maybe something I might miss, so please share. So that's so important to do. And that's one of the things, I would, and one of the things living here in Brazil, I noticed that because I walk more, because I don't have a car and I'm constantly having to walk to the bus station or the train station, I'm getting more exercise in. And when I lived in the States, that's one of the things that I would consciously do. Even though I had a car, I would actually take public transportation just so I could walk more to and from work, unless it was raining or cold, then I would drive my car in. But those are just little things that we can do to become more conscious of, losing weight, exercising, being healthy, thinking about what you're eating, what you're putting into your body, what you're drinking. So I like to talk about a rainbow diet, to really help you with that dad's body or the mom's body, and getting in all of the vegetables and the different colors. You're going to get all of the different vitamins that your body needs to be healthy. So I think that's the most important thing with going back to like, whether to send nude pics or not, right? I was in a group and a woman was like, oh, my guy wants me to send nude pics, but I don't feel comfortable with it, because she wasn't happy with her body. And so I say, if you're in a relationship and that person knows you, that person loves you, and they're asking, send it. Going back to the unsolicited pics, never send unsolicited pics. Okay, because now we're moving off from the self-esteem, right? So I talked a little bit about what you can do to kind of help with the self-esteem, so that you can feel more comfortable to send nude pics, a dick pic, or a pussy pic to your partner. Now let's say we've worked through all of that, the self-esteem issues. We have a whole nother issue about unsolicited pics, because I had a guy during this quarantine, like we were talking, and then out of the blue he just sent me a picture, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't ask for that picture. And it's about respect, so you need to be able to respect what a woman, and be able to communicate, because especially as women, we've been so long where we haven't been respected, or people have just done whatever they wanted to with our bodies. We haven't been able to express ourselves, talk about what we want, what we feel. So it's important to be able to connect with the woman and ask her. It's important. Ask, is it okay for me to send this picture to you? Would you like to see this picture? And even if you've sent before, you should still ask each time, because each time she might be in a different space, or he might be in a different space. So it's always about consent and being able to respect where your partner is in that given moment, or where your friend is, or where your booty call person is in that given moment. So communication, consent are like the biggest, most important things. Most important things. So who else? Come on in and say hello. And I want you guys to chime in. Let me know what thoughts you have on this in terms of the self-esteem and dick pics or pussy pics or anything like that. Because I'd love to hear from you. And I think that when we're on sexuality and we're talking about sexuality, I feel like it's so important to be able to have open and honest communication with whoever you're in a relationship with, which is why I'm doing this whole kink retreat in June 12th to the 14th, to actually be able to teach about how to communicate, how to ask for permission, and how to share. Hello, Adina, how are you? Hello, those coming on. So how to share and how to discuss what your needs are, because a lot of times we enter into relationships and we don't talk about these fundamental things, like what feels good to you, what you want, what you like. And I think that so many times we don't even know what we like. So we know what we don't like, and we can say what we don't like and what we don't want, but then it's hard to say what we want and what we like. So it's so important that we have open and honest conversations with ourselves about what we want in our lives, what's a yes, what's a no, and then at all times being able to express that and not negating what we want. So a lot of times, and I say that to say, a lot of times when someone is like, oh, can I send a dick pic? or, a pussy pic or something, you may not really want it, but then you'll say okay just to kind of appease the person and not hurt their feelings or something like that. So it's so important to really be true and honest to yourself in that moment, to what you want and what you need, and being able to express that. So it's doing the work with going deep down, okay, and looking at past relationships, looking at how you responded to different things and why. Why do I so quickly say yes? Or no, I don't want this pic. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want you to talk to me like this. No, I don't want you to treat me this way. And why, when you have difficulties to express that, why? Where does that come from? And then for men who send unsolicited dick pics, like really looking at, why do I send this without asking? Is it that I don't have respect for this woman or this man? What is my image of relationships? What is my image of this person? And I think that having a deep conversation with yourself about that is so important, and really looking into that so you can understand why you're doing what you do, and where those behaviors are coming from. So kind of like to just kind of give a little summary for those who's kind of coming on. The topic for today is dick pics to send or not to pick, and then also self-esteem. And I'm tying these both together because I've had different situations where people have sent me messages. I had one guy who sent me a dick pic, but then I've had people send me messages about, I have a partner asking me to send, but I feel uncomfortable. Should I send it or not? And asking about that. So, I think that it's connected to the self-esteem. So I wanted to connect to those two things, and going back to the image of where our self-esteem came from. So if we're going back and we look at the different images from where self-esteem came from media, from what we would see in the media about what was beautiful. You had to be a certain color, you had to be a certain size, you had to have a six-pack, you had to have long hair. And so these are a lot of different things that has affected us over time. And so a lot of the work is being able to deprogram that conditioning that we've had, to be able to, okay, say I love look and love yourself deeply, completely, doing the work to love yourself, exercising, not just to lose weight, but exercising to be healthy and to take care of yourself and your body, meditating to take care of your mind, your spirit, your emotional, and your body. Mosquito. And so we have to do those different things for us, and not to try to be a certain way for society. Adina says, I think we want desire to be seen and accepted in our most intimate places. Yes. Why do you think that is? Where does that come from? What is that desire to be seen and accepted in our most intimate places? Where do you think that comes from? And that's a really, really good, I like that. Thank you for adding that. Whew. Yeah, we really do. And I think that when we're being seen in our most intimate places, we're being seen. We're truly being seen. We're vulnerable. And I think many of us deep down want to be able to get to that point where we can be vulnerable. We could just let go and we could just be, and that's deep. And how do you do that? Do you do that in a respectful way, or do you do that in in disrespectful way? By just sending this pic, So we all want to be seen. I think deep down, human psyche, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be accepted, we want to be loved. And I think so many of us go about getting that the wrong way, unfortunately. I love dick pics when I'm in sensual energy with a partner. I am always very complimentary to the owner of the dick or the dick. Beautiful lingam. Thanks for sharing. Oh yes, me too. So I had an ex of mine, and I don't know if you guys saw my post on Wednesday. Blackout Tuesday has me stressed. Send nudes, and so an ex of mine, he sent me a message, and he was like commenting on that, and I was like, so where's my pic? And he was like, oh, you wouldn't be happy with my body right now. And I said to him, of course, I'm asking you for it. Of course, I'll be happy. And I love your body. It's amazing. You're beautiful. You're a black man, And and he was like, oh, you're just trying to make me feel good, just boosting my ego. And I'm like, no, it's true. I would not have asked if I didn't want it. I've seen your pictures on Facebook. I know how you look. And so, I think that for so many of us, we've been bruised day in and day out about something. We've been told something negative. So I really love that you said this, Adina. It's so important that we compliment the owner or the dick, especially if it's the one that we asked for, and it's someone we have a relationship for. If it's some guy that we don't even know and he's like whatever and sends it, then whatever. Screw him. Because he didn't ask, first of all. But so I saved your status so I can send it out later. That's so funny. It was funny. A lot of people loved it. And so I think that it's important for us to love and be gentle with one another, be caring, and help, help us to feel good, especially now. Now things have to change. We're in a time where things are changing, and we're going through a whole revolution. And I think it starts with these little things, with being loving, being kind to each other, helping, say beautiful things. You're beautiful. You're amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful. You're a beautiful goddess. Yes, we all want to be loved and accepted. Yes, that's what we all want. Whew, breathe on that. And that's the heart of Black Lives Matter. We all want to be loved and accepted. We all deserve to be loved and accepted. And you see how everything is connected. That's one of the things that I love about Tantra. Tantra says that everything is connected. It means a weave of connections. So I start out talking about dick pics and go into how that's connected to self-esteem, self-image, body image. Then that's connected to how we all want to be loved and accepted. That's connected to Black Lives Matter. Because at the foundation of everything is wanting to be loved and accepted. And because we go through so many things in our life, we go about it the wrong way. We go about it the wrong way because we have these defense mechanisms. We have these defense mechanisms that like, no, I need to protect myself. So because I have to protect myself, let me be this towards this other person. Let me treat this other person as less than, to kind of keep that distance, So we do so many messed up things as a form of protection. Somebody who has a negative self-image, who wants to be loved and accepted, and he doesn't know how to do it, might just send a dick pic. Because he's huge. Actually, he might be huge and have the guy who sent me one. He was kind of huge. He was kind of nice, but I was still had to be like, no, don't. Like, you need to ask first. But maybe he needs that reassurance. Oh, you're huge. Look at how beautiful it looks. But they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to ask for what they need. They don't know how to express what they're feeling, they don't know how to become intimate and have a connection, a true connection with someone. So they go about it the wrong way. Type 1 if you learned how to have an intimate connection growing up. If you learned how to be intimate, if you learned how to connect with someone? Type 1. If you didn't, type 2. Put a 2 in a box. If you've never learned how to have a connection, how to be intimate with someone, let's give that same energy that we want to receive. Yes, yes, that is so important. And I think if we can be conscious of what we want to receive, then we're going to do what we want to receive. But not everybody's conscious of that because there's so many blocks, because there's so many different things that people have been dealing with. So it makes it harder for us to be conscious and aware of what we want in our lives, to be able to give that energy. So Dina says 1. Yes. So you actually learned. Where did you learn? And when did you learn? And that's important because so many of us were, obviously you're not learning this in school, or maybe you might have. Did you learn this with your family? Did you learn this as an adult? When was this? And this is why you're giving some great answers. So I see a lot of people coming on. Share, say hello, share what your thoughts are about sending a dick pic or nude pic in general. Send what your comments are about self-esteem, taking care of your body, to change that dad bod or that mom bod, because it's all connected. So let me know what your thoughts are on this subject. Let me know what you think about, this was all kind of tied and going back to people wanting to be loved and accepted, people wanting to be heard, people wanting to be seen, at the base, this is really what everyone wants. And it's about learning how to be seen, how to be heard. And I think that a lot of the blockages comes from, again, not being able to see positive images, only seeing what society has deemed as beautiful, what society says is what you should and shouldn't do. Then we see different movies or, different shows or porns, and then we think this is how we should respond to something. This is how we should connect with someone. All right. So just to kind of really work on self-esteem and loving yourself, just take some time and think about what are some of the things you love about yourself. And I think this is going to help you get to the point of giving the same energy that you want to receive. I think when you do the work to work on loving yourself, you can then kind of present that image to other people and share and not be disrespectful and be able to have open and honest communication and consent. So, write down and today is a great day to do this for the full moon, because the full moon is a time to really release what no longer serves you, what's not helping you. And so go through and write down, start off first with 10 things that's been kind of prohibiting you from doing what you want or feeling good about yourself. And then when you do that, you write down things that you love about yourself, 10 things that you love about yourself, and have that. And on a daily basis, look at that and watch that. Write down skills that you possess, amazing skills that you're good at, what you can do. Then write down different occasions that you were able to overcome adversity. And, these are some important things that you can do just to kind of really think about how you're feeling about your body, being able to see yourself. And once you can work on this, it's going to be easier for you to do different exercises and different things like that to kind of help you with feeling better. So Roberta says, was just talking about my mom bod, and I'm not inspired to change it, especially if you don't know the difference. Yeah. So not being inspired to change it, Roberta, where do you think that comes from? Like, why aren't you? Is it just because, what do you mean? Especially if you don't know the difference, you're not inspired to change it. Like, is it because you're feeling so down about it that you just don't have the energy to do anything? Or do you feel like you're okay with the changes that you have, or you don't realize the difference. Can you expand on that? And for me, please, because I'd love to hear more about that. And you'd be surprised. I have so many people talking to me about the whole dad bod and mom bod, like, you know, um, and again, like, there are people who want to change it, but they can't, or they're just feeling stuck. They don't know where to start. All right. So Roberta says the motivation to change. I'm comfortable in it. It didn't make me feel uncomfortable. Okay. Okay. And so then if you're comfortable in it, then that's great. I think that's great. That's one of the things that I was talking about earlier. Is that accepting where you are right now. So yeah, I think I expect the changes mothers have brought. And that's exactly it. Our bodies are constantly changing. So when whether you have especially when you have a child, your body changes. And it's being able to get to the point where you love that your body for the changes that it's going through. So Clayton says, first of all, we got to grow self-knowledge and then share our best with others around. Yes, beautiful. So true. So true. So Elisa writes, I received the dick pic from a man I had met only once and who I found interesting and was talking to on and off on Facebook. There had been no intimacy between us at all. Then one day he decided to pull out his dick. It felt aggressive and threatening to me on some level. I never say him the same way. I don't even feel like getting to know him better. I felt offended and as if my trust was violated in a way. Yes, great point. Thank you for sharing that. And that is so true. Like, and guys do this. And so it is a violation. It is a violation. And it changes the way you see the person. It changes the way you see the person. And honestly, if the person sends unsolicited, then you know that this is going to be a person who's not going to respect you. He's not going to respect what your needs are or what you're feeling. It's going to be about what he's needing at that moment. And at that moment, he was feeling horny. He was, needing to have his needs met. And so didn't think about you. And so that was my same thing. Like, this guy that sent me, I didn't even know him. Like, we had never even met. We had just been talking off and on WhatsApp, and it was weird. And not even talking, like, in my opinion, it was just talking as friends, And then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, this just came out of the blue. And so, and that's the whole thing about communication and consent is so important because you are violating. And in a sense, that is a sexual assault. It is. And so people need to be aware of that. You need to be aware that you are violating this person when you send a pic without consent. So no, it's not okay to just do that. I have a lady who was on my live. She said, it was so hilarious. She's like, this is a fairy home mother, right? So she's like, if a guy sends it, she's selling it and she's going to make money on it. So I'm like, you need to send me those contacts who I can send it to so I can send out these pics as well and make some money off of that. Might as well make something. But in all seriousness, it is a violation. So and as a woman, we have the right to be able to say yes or no, we don't want that. You take away that right for us to say yes or no that we want this, you're violating our rights. You're taking away our freedom. And so is that what you want when you send that? So when you're sending a pic, you need to think about, what is it that I want? What is the goal that I want? And so tons of times I've had to block people. I've had to block tons of people, like, just because by nature of my work, I think a lot of people think that it's okay to just send that. So people will send it to me and I have to block them. And so I think on a day-to-day, I don't know how common it is, but I do know I have a lot of women who have talked about having, PICSENT, just like Elisa just shared. So it is common, it happens. And a lot of my work is really just getting people to just kind of be able to connect, learn how to be more intimate, learn how to have communication, and really just be able to just improve our relationships so we can have better relationships. So, yeah, thank you, Alicia and Roberta and Clayton, for sharing, and Adina. These were really great. So, anyone else? And Vika, if you're still on, she was in the beginning. So, yeah, these are some important things. So I think that is just important to remember to just ask permission first, work on loving yourself, and it all goes back to loving yourself. I think if you can love yourself, you can heal yourself. Then you know relationships will be better, and you can ask people first and then send a picture. So, and that's really important because we can't be violating. We have to always, act out of respect, love, and care. And honestly, when you hurt someone else, you're hurting yourself. So, because it's all connected. So, being able to respect those rights of other people. So, does anyone have any other questions or comments? This is really good. I'm thinking, I'm happy that you guys have been kind of writing on and adding, and yeah. So going back to what Clayton says, so going back to the self-love, we do have to grow, and we have to have more self-knowledge and self-love. And then when we love ourselves and we respect ourselves and we respect our bodies, we're going to respect other people, and we're going to treat other people the way that we want to be treated. Adina says, thanks, sis. Thank you for watching and adding and sharing. So this is great. So Adina said, so this is like, I've been doing it with these lives with people, and so now I'm kind of doing it by myself today. So it feels weird because it's normally like waiting for someone else to talk in, but it's good. So I'm making this commitment to be consistent every week, doing a live and sharing and educating people. And if you want to continue learning more, join me on Patreon. Patreon is exclusive membership, starting anywhere from $5 a month up to $10 a month. And what I do is it's a way of supporting my work, and it's also a way of going deeper into Tantra and learning more. So I have self-exploration Sundays where we go in and we explore the body. We do masturbation as well, self-touch, self-pleasing. Then I have meditation on Mondays and Tantra Tuesdays where we go in and learn more about Tantra. So those are some good things to be able to learn more about yourself, go deeper, and connect more with sexuality. So look at that. Join me on Patreon, Prandada Prim. I'll write that on here. We got somebody else who added on about dick. Okay, so Coleridge says dick pics and dad bods. So, and in the question. So, what is that, Coleridge? What do you want to say about that? What about the dick pics and what about the dad bods? So if you guys want to kind of support and go more, study more, and learn more about sacred sexuality, check me out on Patreon at Prandada Prim. And every week, got some good stuff on. You get discounts from our courses as well as being a Patreon member. I guess, Coleridge, you're just kind of like thinking about the dick pics and dad bods. Is that what that means? So I think a lot of us have also had like body changes. Okay, let's see. Rex came in. Can't believe that people are still sending their privates through the mail. People are. People are. Through on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, on WhatsApp, through text. People are still doing it. And one of the things I've told my nieces and nephews, I was like, well, my nieces, I was like, look, if a guy asks you for a personal pic of your privates and you feel like you want to send it, that's fine, but don't have your face on it. Don't have your face on it, because you just never know where people are going to put that. We got so many mosquitoes in here. Where people are going to put that. So you need to protect yourself at all times. So I do tell them that. But yeah, people do still send it. And there's nothing wrong with that, honestly, if you are in that type of relationship. And, if you have an intimate relationship, send away. It's all good. But the problem is when you don't have that intimate relationship and you send it without permission, you send it unsolicited. And that's when you're violating the person's right, and that's when it's a problem. And yes, people do it all the time. People do it all the time. There's really a lot of people out there that just really want to be loved and they just don't know how. They don't know how to get those needs met, to feel love and be loved. So they go about it the wrong way. Yeah, really, really. Yeah. So I have never done that, but I have received my fair share from women. No, so I do want to hear from you. Have women sent them to you without asking, Rex, or did they always ask first? So I'm curious because in my mind, I would think that women would ask first. Oh, I did tell my kids the same. Good. I'm glad you did. And that's important. I think it's so important that we have open and honest conversations with our kids. And if you don't have kids, your nieces or your nephews, and if you do have kids, with your kids and your nieces and nephews, and talk about these things. Because, you know, as a psychotherapist, especially when I worked in the States, I had so many kids who would send these pics, and then the person they send it to would share it all over and show it to other people, and then they're coming and they're crying and they're feeling violated, and it's hard. And I'm like, look, you can't send those pics with your face on it. And that's why I tell them, that's why I talk to my nieces and nephews. I'm like, it's so important that they know that. Oh, okay, so the women would send them without asking. Oh, so women do it too. And then as a man, how do you feel? And I know you can't be representative of all men, but how do you feel when the women send it to you without asking? Was it all good, or do you feel like, oh my God, they should have asked first? And I guess with that question, was it women that you had intimacy with, or was it just kind of like out the blue? So, and it's the same. A lot of times for men and women, like, again, going back to, we want to be seen, we want to be loved, we want to be connected. Surprise. So like they just kind of sent it. Yeah. So, yeah. So we're surprised they would send it without asking. Yeah. So men and women do the same. So I think I think all of us have to really work towards being able to connect with our bodies, connect with our friends, our partners, whoever, and make sure that that we're doing things in all respect. Okay, so Rex says, because I was never that guy. The guy moved by seeing that type of stuff. Oh, the guy moved by seeing that type of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I understand that. Like, needless to say, things never evolved between us. And that's actually a good point. I like that you said that. Very good point. Needless to say, things never evolve between us. And I think that's the thing. When you're just sending something out of the blue, sometimes people do it because they're hoping that this will create a connection, and that this person will be like, ooh, this person is sexy. And you know what? What you're doing is just maybe possibly saying, okay, you're open for just sex and only sex and nothing else, because this person's not going to respect you to be in a relationship. But that's a small chance. It depends. A lot of times a person might just be like, you're blocked off, canceled, because like you just send that. That shows a lot of how you don't have respect for your body, or for this person. There's just no respect for that person or yourself. So you definitely can't just be doing that, especially if you want a relationship. Always believe that some things need to be left to the imagination. Yes, that's another good one. Thank you, Rex. You're up in there. Thank you. Always believe. And that's the thing too. So that's another thing I talk to my girls about, right? It's like, don't be like wearing like nothing, naked all the time. When you're wearing clothes and maybe, you're actually more of a turn on, because the guy is like trying to imagine what's underneath there, and he's imagining, and it's creating more of that, oh, I want her, But when you're all out there and everything is just out there, they're not going to be interested anymore. They done seen it, It's like, it's so important. So you have to really think about what you want, where you want to go, and act from there, really, in all honesty. So I want to share with you guys quick in closing up that tomorrow, Saturday, I am having a free meditation and prayer for everything that's going on. People are stressed right now. And so, message me if you're interested. It's on my Facebook. I have the flyer. Let's breathe together. So we're going to be meditating and the prayer and singing, just with some kind of stress, because I think to release the stress, because we need to be centered so that we can think and we can act and we can know what to do. We always need to be centered and grounded. So, so join me on that Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Monday, I have my Tantra course. Rex, I know last time you said you were interested. I pushed it back from June 1st, and I'm starting it this Monday, June 8th, because there was just so much going on. And that's going to be a sound movement breathwork course where I'm going to be teaching about how to channel energy, how to like really connect with your breath, with sound and movement, so we can heal our bodies, so we can be balanced, so we can be centered, and really just be able to move on. All right, so we got another. They stopped sending me pics and started sending videos. Are you serious? Oh, I did get a video too. I got a video too. Yeah. And I knew this guy was kind of weird. Yeah, so that's right. They're sending. One guy that sent me the video, he was like, jacking off on the video. So, but you know how you can kind of see it, and then so a lot of times I know not to open it when I get a video. Then sometimes it just kind of comes and you see the whole thing, so you kind of have an idea. But it's like, yeah, you got pics, you got videos, you got all these different things. It's just, yeah. So anyway, the whole realm of sexuality. So my whole job is to really get people to have open and honest conversations about sex. Also be able to improve our sex lives so we can have fun and enjoy sex and enjoy relationships. So this is why I'm having these conversations and bringing different people on. So thank you guys for joining me. Love you guys for being here and supporting and for commenting. And hope to see you tomorrow evening at the prayer and meditation at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, it's free. Let's meditate. Let's change the energy. Let's change the vibration. If you want to go deeper and do more with Tantra, have a couple options. You can join me on Patreon. Be a member where I'm building community, really. Patreon is all about community, having a community where we grow together and we're constantly together, and you're constantly receiving information from me on a daily basis. So you can join me there, or you can join my 5-week Tantra course that starts June 8th, where we're going to be learning how to channel energy. We're going to be working with sound. We're going to be working with breath work and movement because we got to learn how to move that energy, get that energy going through us. So it's important. So we're going to do that. I also have the Sacred Kink Retreat for anybody interested in learning about kink. That's June 12th to the 14th. So that's going to be fun. We've got tons of stuff out there for you guys. So hopefully there's something you're interested in. If not, keep tuning into these lives. Check out my other videos on YouTube to keep learning more information. And see you guys on Sunday. I got another live coming up with Brian, who is a erotic storyteller and photographer. He takes pictures of erotic bodies, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hope to see you there. There's so many different things. Keep coming back to my Facebook page so you can know what's going on and what I have coming up. All right, see you guys. Have a great one. Have a wonderful weekend and talk to you later. Bye.